Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I would like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is on really the first steps of when you first access BNI Connect, what should we do next? And we're going to be talking a lot today about how to fill out your profile. So how to go in, how to update all the information in there, where it shows up, some tips and tricks for doing that well, and what should be going where. Also, why do we want to do that? Before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping things to let you know about. This is a live presentation, so that means that if you have any questions whatsoever as we're going through the material today, please do feel free to ask those questions. The best way to ask a question is to type that question into the question panel here in the GoToWebinar software. We'll be able to see those questions pop up on our screen, and we will answer them as we're going along. The second thing is that this is being recorded. So if you would like to review this presentation later, or if you would like to share this presentation with anybody else in your chapters or in your regions, you'll be able to do that. We'll be sharing this in two different places, the first of which is on the support site. So to get to the support site, the easiest way to do that is to, once you're logged into BNI Connect here, click on this question mark in the upper right-hand corner. The question mark will take you to support.bniconnect.com. You'll see our list of upcoming webinars here. And if you scroll down just a little bit further, under Chapter Training and Documentation, very shortly you will see a new one that says February 2015 webinars. They'll all be listed here chronologically. Here, for example, is all of the January webinars. We do go through this whole series on a monthly basis, so if you don't want to wait for the live one and you want to skip ahead, you can do that as well by looking through the January ones. It'll also be available on youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. We have a ton of material available up here on this website, including some short 3 to 5 minute educational moments, which can be used at your chapter meetings, as well as all of the webinars and release announcements and special messages from Dr. Meisner about BNI Connect. So please join us and subscribe to us up on our YouTube channel as well. But let's take a look at today's information. Again, these are the first steps completing your profile. Now, the reason that it's so important to complete your profile is that BNI Connect is now a global database. For the first time in the history of BNI, every single member around the world has access to every other member's information. So that means that as a BNI member and being involved in BNI Connect, you can look at other BNI members in other states. I'm a member here in Rhode Island, and I can look up other members in Connecticut, in New York, in California. I can also go overseas. I can look for members in the UK or in South Africa or China. I mean, any place that BNI has a presence, their members are in BNI Connect, and very shortly, within the next month, we will also have the last 3 countries to migrate into BNI Connect, and that is Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. And then we truly will have every member in the world here in BNI Connect. Not only that, but all of that information is also accessible to people that are just on the internet. Every region and chapter has their own BNI Connect connected website that displays information. So let me show you that real quick. What does that look like? So here we're in BNI Connect, and in BNI Connect I can do a search, and I can search again for any member around the world. So for example, we have Steve Elliott on the call with us today. I can do a search here for Steve Elliott, and I can click on him, pull up his profile. I can see all the different places that he's a part of. I can see his business. I can see his contact information. I can go through. I can read his bio and his see who he's connected to. I can read any testimonials that he might have, or if he's sharing any photos and his training history. So all of this helps to build credibility with other people. Now, also on the regional website. So, for example, here in Rhode Island, our regional website is bniri.com. And here on the regional websites, I could do a search for members. And let's say I'm looking for myself here. Now, anybody can access these regional websites, so visitors that might have come to your chapter or past members that are still looking to do business with BNI people. All of this is available. I can do a search for myself. I find my profile. All my social media links are here. All of my contact information is here. This is being indexed by Google as well. So if I do a Google search for myself, this profile actually shows up in those results. Now, the inside and outside, so this is inside BNI Connect. This has a lot more information, but there is some additional information on the public websites. We have the TOPS profile. We have the My Business description, and again, all of the social media links. Now, each country also has a website, so now this is a third point of presence. So if I go to bniamerica.com, this is a website for all members here in the United States, and the UK has one, and South Africa has one, and all the other countries have their own that bring all of their country members together. And again, I can do a search here. I can do a search for members within the United States. And again, I could do a search for myself here. And pull up this profile. So again, it's the same profile, but it's another place that I'm able to be seen out there on the internet. And did I mention my chapter website as well? So if I go to bniri.com, we have a chapter page, bniri.com/Wakefield. And if I take a look at the chapter members, my profile is here as well. So now we can see that I'm visible to other BNI members through the logged in portion of BNI Connect. We're visible to other people within our chapter page, so that's one point of presence. On the regional website through the membership search, that's a second point of presence. And then we also have the national website, so that's a third point of presence. It's a lot of people that have the ability to see your profile. So how do we update all this information? How do we get this information to appear up on these websites and within BNI Connect? So we do that. First of all, we do have to log into BNI Connect. So click on the BNI Connect button or go to bniconnect.com and log in. Once you're there, you should be brought to your home screen here. The place to go and edit your profile, you can get there two different ways. The first way is along this, right next to your picture and everything, there's change password, there's update profile my BNI page. If you click this link, that will take you into your profile to edit it. The second thing you can do is click on options, my account. I apologize there, just quick technical difficulties. Once you're in My Account, you should be able to look at your profile, and you'll notice that your profile is broken into a number of different tabs or different areas of information. You can see those along the top here. We have the Main Profile tab. We have the User Profile tab. We have the Contact Details tab. We have the Account Settings tab, the Bio tab, the Director Profile tab if you happen to also be a BNI director, and finally your training history. So let's go through and look at all of these tabs, look at the information that you can update and where it appears. So the first tab, again, this is the Main Profile tab, and the Main Profile tab will have the basic information about you. So it's going to have your name and your company name. Now, in some places, you are able to edit the company name and your name directly. In other places, you do have to request that change. The reason that you do have to request that change in a lot of places is because it does need to, from a legal standpoint, match whatever is on the physical application that you turned in to become a member. So as you can see, you can do that here. The display name, really, this is just a copy and paste thing. You don't edit it or change it right there. You do change it through the request from the above part here. Scrolling down, you should see your company name. Now, VAT reference number, for those of you that may not know what that is, VAT stands for Value Added Tax, and that's kind of like a taxation number, almost like our sales tax here in the United States. But in some other countries, they are required by law to have that as part of their business profile. Here in the United States, we don't really need to worry about that, so you can just leave that particular field blank. It doesn't actually show up publicly anywhere. It's more for administrative purposes. Now below that, it'll also have your industry and classification. Again, you can't edit those directly. If you feel that those are in error, you do need to contact your regional office or your director consultant, and they can assist with changing that. Down here, the My Business and the keywords. Now this is where we can start to make some improvements to your profile. The My Business one is a very important one to put in because this one does appear just about everywhere. It'll appear on your internal profile as well as, again, it'll appear here in the My Business. It'll also appear on all of the public websites as well. So this My Business description is controlled by what you put in here. Couple of things about the My Business description. The way that I've always thought about this is that it's kind of like the elevator pitch. So if you've ever gone to a networking event and you're meeting somebody for the first time, or even maybe it's even during the open networking portion of your weekly chapter meeting, and you need to very quickly describe your business to them. So a couple of sentences, you usually don't want to bore them with too many details. Interesting things about the My Business description is that you can use, if you are familiar with HTML code, you can use some HTML code in here in order to, for example, make things bold, or in this case, I wanted things to be in a bulleted list. But you can also put videos in here by putting in a link to an iframe, for example, on a YouTube. So, for example, if I look at my profile here, you can see that I do have a video as part of my profile that we could play. And we can see that I used some HTML code to kind of doctor this up a little bit. The changes that you make in here do take effect immediately. So if I go in and I change my business and I click Update, as soon as I refresh this, you'll see that this change has taken effect. If I refresh each of these sites, you can see that the My Business is updated. So do take some time to fill out your My Business and make it as effective as possible. When it comes to the keywords are probably the second most important thing that you can spend some time on here in your profile. The reasons why the keywords are so important is because this is how people find you when they don't know your name. So, for example, when I did a search for members on BNIamerica.com or on the BNI RI site, I did a search just for my own personal name. Now, a lot of times, especially if you are looking to connect with, let's say, other web designers in California, or if you're looking for a massage therapist in Florida, you're not really necessarily going to know the person's name, but you will know what type of business you're looking for. This is where the keywords come in. When somebody does a search by keyword, for example, if I'm going back here and I do a search for, I don't know, let's say massage therapist in Florida, when I do this search, it's going to search for these keywords. When it does a search for those keywords, it's going to search against my industry, my classification, and whatever keywords I put in here. So in order to maximize what you'll be found for, you want to put in some good keywords that people will find you for. For example, for For some people, if you happen to be, let's say, an accountant, you might want to make sure that, because up here it may have accountant, you might want to also put accounting in the keywords so that you're found for both accountant and accounting. The other strategy for keywords is that you can use location-based keywords. For example, I am here in Rhode Island. And in Rhode Island, if you are familiar with the geography of Rhode Island, you'll know that Rhode Island is a ridiculously small state. I mean, it is the smallest state in the United States. What that means is that most business owners here in Rhode Island tend to do business across the borders in Connecticut and Massachusetts. Well, when it does a search in BNI Connect, it's going to be searching for wherever my business address is. But I'd also like to be found to do these types of services in Connecticut and Massachusetts. So you can see in my keywords, I put in the abbreviation for Massachusetts and the abbreviation for Connecticut. Now I'll be found for my keywords plus those locations because those are now part of the keywords. Now, if you make any changes here, be sure to click the Update button. And again, they do take effect immediately. So the next person that refreshes the page, if I refresh, it should pick up my original information that I pasted back in there. All right, let's take a look at the second tab. Now, the second tab is your account information, your user profile. This is where you can change or update your username. You do have control of creating your own username and making a new one anytime you want to. Just click on the Change Username. As long as it is unique in the system, you can use that username. Password, we will be enforcing some new password security coming up with the next release in about a month. So take some time now to create a good password, a good strong password. The memorable question and answer, this is what will help you if you ever forget your password. So for example, if you have some people in your chapter that have forgotten their login, you can always help them out by telling them to go to BNI Connect and then click on Forgot Password or Username. All they need to do is to put in their email address. I'm going to put my email address in here, support@bniconnect.com, and a quick code. Once you enter this information, it will ask you your secret question. In order to get your password reset, you will need to answer that question correctly, but you get to control that question and answer here. Now, keep in mind that the questions and answers are case sensitive, so if you do have an answer of, let's say it's somebody's name or something like that, that you have the uppercase and lowercase correct. BNI Connect is also translated into about 45 different languages. You can see them all listed here, including a dozen or so different versions of English. So if you notice your date formats may not be correct or something like that, check which version of English you're using. For example, in the UK, they use day, month, year instead of month, day, year that we use here in the United States. So do make sure that you have the correct version of English or your preferred language. You can also update your profile image and company logo. For example, if I wanted to change my company logo, I could click on the Change Company Logo button. I can then click on the magnifying glass, and that will allow me to search my computer. And I can go find a better logo. So, for example, if I'd like to switch over to this other logo, I can then save it, and that will be updated. The next tab is all of your contact details. So this is the one that looks like it has a phone for an icon, and this has a ton of contact details, phone numbers and addresses and all of your social media links as well. A couple of things about this particular page. The very most important thing on this page is this top option here. It says, Show Me on the BNI public websites. If checked, the public will be able to search for your services. So in order to be found, for example, on my BNI Wakefield site here, I am listed under my chapter members. I can also be found in the searches on the regional site and on the national site. If I uncheck this box, I'm going to uncheck this and I'm going to go ahead and update it. This will hide my profile from all of these sites. So if I refresh this, you will notice that Jeremy Walsh no longer appears in this list anywhere. It also means that if I go and I search for myself here, let's say on the national website, if I do a search now for Jeremy Walsh, I will no longer be found in this search. I'm no longer listed under exact matches. That is because I have opted out by unchecking this box. If you want to be found, be sure to put a check mark in that box. Once you have a check mark in that box, you can also choose which of your phone numbers you'd like to have displayed on those public profiles, if you'd like the website, and which of your addresses you'd like to have listed or none. The next tab is your internal profiles. So again, on the contact details page, this controls your settings for the public website. This next tab controls your settings for the internal profile, the one that only other BNI Connect members have access to. So you can choose which of your tabs to display. For example, these are the tabs that are displayed to other members: your profile tab, your bio tab, your connections, your testimonials, your photo gallery. And again, you can choose which of those are being displayed with either everybody, just people you're connected with, or nobody at all. The next couple of sections have to do with notifications. BNI Connect does have discussion groups, and if you'd like to be notified when activity is happening in the groups that you are a member of, you can get those here. You can choose either every time a new post is added, once per day, once per week, or not at all. And down at the bottom, for different social media actions within BNI Connect, you can choose whether or not you'd like those to be forwarded to your personal email address, or if you'd just like an internal notification. Please keep in mind that these do not affect the system notifications, such as a referral notification, things like that. Those will always come through to your regular email address. All right, the next tab is the meat and potatoes of your bio. This one will take you a little while to fill out. And this has most of the things that we're familiar with. If you think back to your member success program, the bio, this is the same bio that you would fill out before, let's say, a 10-minute presentation within your chapters. It has your years in business, your years in the city, the key to success, so all those same things that they will be listed, shared before your 10-minute presentation. You can also put in a couple of commercials. Now, why would we want to bother putting in any commercials into BNI Connect? Well, the reason for that is that these do display on your profile. As I said before, there's about 140,000 active members in BNI Connect right now, all of which have access to your internal profile. As I said, on the bio tab, there are these 60-second presentations. Now, 139,900 of those members will probably never be at one of your BNI meetings on a weekly basis. However, they all have access to read a presentation on your profile. It's also a good idea, just in case you might be absent for a week, you have something already prepared for your substitute that you could copy and paste and email it over to them. You also have the gains profile. Of course, gains is goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, and skills, and your tops profile. From an expediency standpoint, if you have a limited amount of time and you would like to, you just need to get a couple of things up there, I would concentrate first on the TOPS profile, and your My Business description. The reason for that is those are the things that will show up on your public-facing profiles. So again, if I go to my public profile, the My Business description, and again, this at the bottom here is the TOPS profile. So those are the things that I would concentrate on first. Again, your My Business description here and your TOPS profile on your bio. Of course, whenever you make updates, click the Update button to change those and to save it. If you are a director consultant, you will have a director bio as well where you can keep different information. The reason for this is a separate profile that just gets listed on the Contact Us page of your regional website if you are a director. Finally, the training history. This is for your review. You can go and you can review all the trainings that you've been given credit for. You can't update these yourself. This is updated when you register for an event in BNI Connect and they take attendance. If you do find that things are missing, just contact your director consultant or your regional admin or your executive director. They can manually update this as necessary. And that is filling out your profile. When you're all done, make sure, again, if you made changes, click Update. You can go back to your home screen, and all of that information will be live. All right, what I'd like to do is to open this up for questions. As I said, these are usually for about a half hour worth of content, but I am always happy to stay on these calls and these webinars as long as people have questions. So feel free to ask as many questions as you would like to. Just a reminder for those people that do have to leave right away, it is all being recorded, including the questions. You'll be able to find the recording in two places, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, and also on the support site. You can get to the support site within BNI Connect, click on this question mark, or go to support.bniconnect.com. Scroll down just a little bit, and under Chapter Training and Documentation, you'll see the recorded webinars. All right, so we do have a couple of questions. So we have a question here from Kenneth. Kenneth says, when can we access the site to put in our personal data? So Kenneth, can I assume that you are from one of the countries that will be coming over, Canada or Australia, New Zealand? So if you are part of one of those countries, okay, so you are in Canada, and Leonard's in Canada as well. Basically, in April. So we'll be migrating you guys over. We're going through the testing process all throughout February and March. You guys will be migrating over in April. We don't have an exact date of when your membership will be live in BNI Connect, but we assume it's going to be right around mid-April. You'll be issued a username and password, and you'll be able to log in and fill out all of this information. So does that help, Kenneth and Leonard? All right, let's see. We have another question here from, why doesn't your membership list go alphabetically by last name? I'm assuming you're talking about up on the BNIRI, let's see, the Wakefield, for example. If I go to the chapter members, this was just done in a way that it was listed alphabetically by first name. They go back and forth on which is better, whether it's first name or last name alphabetically, and they just settled on, from a global standpoint, alphabetically by first name. One thing you can note, though, is that you can also reverse sort it if you need to, sort by these other fields. And you can also search within the results and filter the list out. So again, just a programming decision that was made after many, many, many months of debate. All right, Kenneth, I think I already sent over the URL for the webinars and the recordings. If you need that again, just let me know. You can also shoot me an email, support@bniconnect.com, and I will be happy to send you hard copies of that as well. Steve brings up a good point. On your profile, you'll notice that if you would like to, if you have a business where you might work from home and you don't necessarily want your, let me go to the details page here. Let's say you don't necessarily want your home address displayed, but you'd still like to have your city and your town and your state and all that stuff listed. You can do that by just putting in the address line, putting in by appointment only. And that way you can display all of this information but still have your privacy of your home address being hidden. So thanks for that reminder, Steve. So Gladys says, given the high incidence of identity theft, why would anyone provide the level of detail noted on the profile page? Gladys, that is completely a personal decision as to which information you choose to share and which information you choose to be hidden, or if you choose to opt out of sharing information entirely. That's your level of, I guess, comfort with what you would like to share. Personally, I have so much information out there that I don't mind sharing all of this information. All the information here is all publicly accessible in various other websites and places, including my business address, all of my phone numbers. You'll note that on the public website, we do not share your email address, although we do have the ability to send a message. So somebody can send you an email, but we are not going to share your actual email address on the website. Does that make sense, Gladys? But again, you can choose to hide the majority or all of that information if you'd like to. All right, I think that was the last question. Do we have any additional questions? I would be happy to answer those questions at this time. Any questions at all about BNI Connect? All right, if there's no additional questions, again, thank you all so much for being here today. If you liked this format, if you learned some things today, a great referral for me is to please let your other chapter members know about these webinars. We do a full series of member-level webinars on a monthly basis. Our very next one is going to be this Wednesday, so 2 days from now, at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about how to give and track referrals through BNI Connect. Finally, I would love it if you gave us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. We do tips and tricks and reminders and all sorts of things up here on our Facebook page as well. So please do. I'd love it if you gave us a like up there. All right, everyone, have an absolutely wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you all on a future webinar. Happy connecting.